Hi everyone, welcome to week 2 of our class. Thank you very much for your participation in the discussion last week and for your work on our Padlet of contemporary issues. It looks like everybody really did get the hang of using that version of Padlet. For this week, we're going to start talking about and digging into some early childhood theorists and theories. We're going to be looking at Froebel, Dewey, Pestalozzi, Rousseau, Locke, Vygotsky, Erikson, and Piaget this week. And what you will see is in our announcements, you're going to have an assignment of which two you're going to be really digging into. So first of all, let's look at our learning materials a little bit this week. You have some reading to do about Froebel, Dewey, John Locke, Erikson, Piaget, Vygotsky, and you also have some videos to watch, again, about those theorists. And then you will also be doing some of your own research as well. So for our discussion this week, this is one of those discussions where I think my students in the past have overthought it. So for simplicity's sake, what I want you to do is I want you to find a single picture or infographic or GIF or some other kind of visual that summarizes sort of overarching what you learned about the theorists. It could be that you learned a lot about play, you learned a lot about relationships. Pick sort of the big idea and find a picture that demonstrates that. And then I want you to talk a little bit in your narrative about what you learned from the theorists that we're studying this week and their theories. And then give some examples of what those theories and theorists look and feel like in an early childhood setting. And of course, ask a couple of questions of your peers in class too. And then we get to our compendium. So the assignment for this week and next week is going to be to work on a compendium of early childhood theorists. We're going to be using Padlet again, but the Padlet's going to be looking a little bit different. It's going to be looking like slides as opposed to a wall. So in the announcements for this week, you're going to see that there is a spreadsheet that assigns you two theorists and either to the pink team or to the yellow team. The reason why I have you split up is this is a very large class, and I think it would be very overwhelming for us all to work on the same compendium at the same time. So what you are going to do is with your theorists this week and also next week, you are going to design a single slide that is going to tell us about that theorist. Make sure that you look at the rubric to make sure you have all the components that you need on your slide. You're going to be doing some additional research, and you can use the graphic organizer that I have linked in the assignment if that helps you gather the information. I think I put this in the announcement, but a helpful hint, it's a lot of real estate, a very little real estate to include a lot of information. So one thing I've seen students do is put their references in a Google Doc and then put the link to the Google Doc on the slide. That way they don't have to take up all that space with references. You don't have to do it, just a helpful hint. The other thing I want to sort of warn you about is that when everybody is on the Padlet at the same time, in particular on Saturday and Sunday, Padlets can get a little wonky when too many people are trying to work on them at the same time. So I would highly recommend that you do your work either on a PowerPoint slide or in a Word doc, and then cut and paste your work into the Padlet. You can work in the Padlet if you'd like to, especially if you're doing it earlier in the week. It shouldn't be an issue. But again, Saturday and Sunday, I have seen Padlets go a little wonky with too many people. And then if you want to include any multimedia, if you've designed outside of Padlet, you can just leave a blank space and just plug that in when you copy into Padlet. I think you'll understand it a little bit more once you take a look at the type of Padlet that we are using this week. And then when we are all done with this at the end of week 3, I'm going to make a PDF of each of the Padlets, and I'm going to send you the PDFs so you actually will have a study guide for the MTELs or for any other psychology classes that you may be taking. And I will let you know that the links, if you save the link to your Padlet, the links will be live for quite a while, at least until well into the spring, if not live again till next fall, depending on when this class is taught again. So you will have access to all the videos and everything else as well. So that's our assignment this week. I think this should be a lot of fun for us to be able to do this. If you have questions, there are tons of videos that you can Google about how to use Padlet. It really isn't difficult, but as I said, just be careful when there's a lot of traffic because Padlet can act a little wonky. Hopefully everybody will enjoy doing this assignment and then really be able to have a nice compendium that we can share when we're all done. Have a great week, and I will see you next week.